As the international break comes to an end, focus switches back to the old Bundesliga, and it's tight at the top. Just goal difference separate the top two. We'll talk about that and more next. That's right, folks, back once again with another prediction video, this time looking forward to match day number 27 in the 2018-2019 Bundesliga season. We'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new to the channel, smash your subscribe button to get you bang up to date with all things Bundesliga related, Blackburn Rovers related, world football related. We're going to all here under one roof. Anyway, before we look at match day number 27, we're going to take a look back at match day number 26. Take a look at my predictions and, of course, the results to see what went happen that weekend. Kicking it off, it was my boys, Mönchengladbach, taking on Freiburg, and that ended as a 1-1 draw. Upsetting for me. I actually saw this going in favour of Gladbach, 3-1 win. Their season seems to be going off the track a little bit, falling out of the old Champions League spots. Could be in the next week or two. Frankfurt hot on their heels. They've only won one out of the past six, so pretty woeful. Wolfsburg took on Fortuna Düsseldorf, and that ended as a 5-2 thriller, 7-goal thriller for Wolfsburg. I actually saw it as a 2-0 win in favour of Wolfsburg, and that pushes them up to 7th spot. Augsburg took on Hannover, and that ended as a 3-1 win in favour of Augsburg, and I saw it going the same way, 2-1 win in favour of Augsburg, and that gets them a little bit out of the old drop zone, pushes Hannover further towards relegation. Actually looks pretty set at the bottom there. Nürnberg and Hannover look set for the drop. Schalke took on Leipzig, and that ended as a 1-0 win in favour of Leipzig. I actually saw this going the same way as well, and that win leapfrogs Mönchengladbach and pushes Leipzig up into 3rd spot. Stuttgart took on Hoffenheim as well, and that ended all square. Hoffenheim picking up an away point, Stuttgart picking up possibly a valuable point as they try to get themselves out of the old relegation playoff spot. I actually saw it going in favour of Hoffenheim, so ultimately got that one wrong. Hertha Berlin took on Dortmund. Obviously, Dortmund lost the top spot over in recent weeks. Their form is decent, but when you look at Bayern's form, who've won 6 on the spin, including this weekend's action, Dortmund squeezing past Berlin with a 3-2 win. Actually, saw it was a 3-1 win, so not too shabby indeed. Bayer Leverkusen took on Werder Bremen as well, and actually a bit of a banana skin there for Leverkusen, 3-1 loss against Werder Bremen, who climb up to 8th spot. I actually saw it going in the other way, 2-0 win in favour of Leverkusen. Eintracht Frankfurt took on Nürnberg, and they squeaked out a 1-0 win over the bottom club to give themselves a sniff of the old Champions League football. I actually saw it as a convincing 3-0 win in favour of Frankfurt. And right at the bottom there, Bayern took on Mainz, and that ended up as a convincing 6-0 win for Bayern to maintain a top spot, give themselves a big old boost, goal difference, and actually saw it as a 4-1 win in favour of Bayern. So not too shabby, just a couple goals shy, and I got that one pretty much close to the money. Anyway, let's take a look at what's going on this weekend. Match day number 27. Hoffenheim will kick off the weekend up against Leverkusen. Now Hoffenheim are in 9th spot, and they've only lost 1 in the past 6 up against the Leverkusen side, who have lost 2 of the past 6, and most recently coming into this with a defeat. Difficult one, this one to call, but I am going to go with Leverkusen, who've won 4 out of the past 6, so it's familiar territory. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be tight. I don't think there's going to be many goals between the two sides. Freiburg will take on Bayern, the leaders. Freiburg are in 11th spot. Just lost the one in the past 6 up against a Bayern side who are scoring for fun, looking good at the moment, and right now I would say they are favourites for the title. I think their early season woes are well behind them, and they are now a well-oiled machine. 3-1 win away from home for Bayern against Freiburg. Fortuna Düsseldorf will take on Mönchengladbach this weekend. Düsseldorf are in 12th spot. Look well set for next season. However, they come into this game losing the past 2 on the spin up against a Mönchengladbach side who have unbeaten in the past 2, but they've also lost 3 of the past 6. Difficult one, but I am going to go with my boys Gladbach with a 2-0 away win, hopefully to keep their Champions League dreams alive. Nürnberg take on Augsburg, bottom club Nürnberg, up against Augsburg, who are in 14th spot. Augsburg unbeaten in 3. Nürnberg lost 4 in the spin. Gonna go with Nürnberg on this one. Brave, possibly stupid, but yeah, I expect them to get at least a couple more wins this season, and this being one of them against Augsburg side away from home. So it's one of them games they have to win if they realistically going to try and get themselves out of this drop zone. Werder Bremen take on Mainz this weekend. Werder Bremen are in 8th. Mainz are in 13th spot. Mainz have only won 1 in 6. Whereas the Werder Bremen side, who are unbeaten in at least 6 games, winning the past 2, I see it as another win for them. Big fat 2-0 win over Mainz. and that win could possibly get them into the old Europa League spots, depending on what goes on between Leverkusen and Wolfsburg. Dortmund take on Wolfsburg this weekend. Obviously, Dortmund come into this match, lost 1 in 6. I've only won 3 in 6, so you do the math there. 4-1 win, though, for me, for Wolfsburg, who are in 7th spot. But if Wolfsburg were to surprise a few, they could get into the Europa League spots themselves, but I doubt it. Leipzig will take on Hertha Berlin. Leipzig come into this match 3rd spot, unbeaten in at least 6 games. The past 6 go like this: 1 drew, 1 drew, 1 drew. So it's a bit of a thing. So if you're going to go with that formula, they're going to draw this one possibly, but I'm going against the grain. I'm going to go with a 3-1 home win for Leipzig to maintain their Champions League dreams. Meanwhile, Hannover, 17th spot up against a Schalke side, unbelievably, who are in 15th spot. Schalke have lost 4 on the spin. They've lost 5 of the past 6. There's a draw in there somewhere. Up against the Hannover side, also lost 5 on the spin, but they've also won recently. But I'm going to go with a 2-2 draw. Obviously, these two sides are in absolute woeful form. Either they're both that bad, or maybe one of the sides will come out on top with a win. And if so, I probably would edge Schalke just because I think they have the talent. I just don't know what's gone wrong with Schalke. And wrapping up the weekend, it is probably one of the form teams in the division. Eintracht Frankfurt up against Stuttgart, who are in 16th spot. Stuttgart losing 4 on the spin, up against the Frankfurt side, who won 4 on the spin, and that makes it 5 on the spin. 2-0 win over Stuttgart, and that win could push them into the old Champions League spots. They could go as high as 3rd, boys and girls, depending on what goes on between Leipzig and Mönchengladbach. But if they go the way of my predictions, they'll end up just the way they are, and that is in 5th spot. That's pretty much all I've got for you today, folks. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a good old thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, smash your subscribe button to keep you bang up to date with all things Bundesliga related, Blackburn Rovers related, World Football related. We're going to all here under one roof. And while I still have you, make sure you drop your own predictions down in the comments section down below to see what you think will happen this weekend in the old Bundesliga. See if you can outpredict me, the prediction king, to see how many you can get right compared to me. And also make sure you check out the old description. Links to my other social media platforms are in there: Twitter, Facebook, WordPress. It's all in there. All in there. Check it all out. And then we'll do it all again next weekend, folks, or next week. There's no more international breaks. There might be some cup games or something that might slow us down a little bit. But to be honest with you, it's plain sailing. It's all the way downhill now. We're entering the month of April. So it's like 6 weeks left, something like that. Anyway, we'll do it all again. Same time, same place. So join me back here then. Thanks again for watching. Please like, share, and most importantly, hit the subscribe button to keep you bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, Championship related, football related. We've got it all covered right under one roof. And while I still have you, please be sure to check out some of the old videos scattered along here. I hope.